Hello fellow YouTubers, it's me Tom Versal here and welcome back to the Music Corner. We're continuing with the MGMT album review series and today we're going to be looking at their third studio album, MGMT, the self-titled record. Just a little overview, most people don't really like this record. In fact, a lot of people think it's MGMT's worst and quite a bad album. But I don't know, I think it's a great album and I think a lot of people just really need to get it on vinyl or re-listen to it some. Because, yeah, it is a great album. But before we get into it, the glasses must go on again. And here we go. Alright, this is my third take of this, by the way. So hopefully nothing goes wrong this time. But yeah. Just some background, MGMT's first album came out, Oracular Spectacular. They were sort of more pop on that album, more radio friendly, and that was very successful. But when they made their second album, Congratulations, they decided to go in a more honest route and make whatever they wanted, and it really did succeed in showing that. It was very different and very weird at the time, but it was a great record and still probably their best record to date. Then, for their third album, they decided to go all out and make something that just screams them and no other band, but also, whilst just destroying their career, basically. They wanted to get as far away from fame, because kids made them really famous, and a lot of pop and indie fans would show up at their live shows and only care for kids and Time to Pretend and Electric Feel, and they hated that. So this was sort of an album to sort of just say, look, go away, we're more like this, we're more psychedelic, and this is a trippy psychedelic album, very much so. The cover art to this album is actually kind of weird because it's the least psychedelic MGMT cover art in my opinion. It could just be a picture of them, but it's on the most psychedelic record, yet it's the least psychedelic album artwork. Really weird stuff. It's just that glare's really annoying me. Sorry if I keep moving about, but yeah. Okay. Also, the personnel you probably all know now. Andrew Van Weggarden on drums, bass and guitar and vocals. Ben Goldwasser on synths, keyboards and backing vocals. And they probably had some session musicians in there as well. Hopefully that's helped a little bit, shutting the curtains. Alright, anyway, into the track review. I've got to be quick with this because I don't know how much memory I have. Side A opens up with Alien Days. Alien Days is a fantastic song, and it's one of the singles on this album, so if you've heard any song off here, it's probably Alien Days. I think it was a single anyway. It was released on cassette, actually. It was released as a cassette for Record Store Day, which is really strange, but it's a very MGMT thing to do. It's a great song. It opens up with some spoken word from a child before quickly getting into a very Beatles-sounding atmosphere for some reason. I never knew that when I listened to this album back then when I first got it, but now after listening to a lot of Beatles stuff, I could tell they were influenced by the Beatles on this first song anyway, Alien Days. So yep, very good song. So moving on to Cool Song number 2. Cool Song number 2 is just as good in my opinion, maybe a bit better actually, because it's a lot more psychedelic, it's a lot freakier. I know Alien Days is psychedelic, but this one's more in my opinion, with the repeating synth going, what? And then them whacking like a cowbell or just a normal bell or something going, it is a very good song, but there's weird piano chords going over the vocals, and it just sounds so weird but awesome at the same time. Another thing I never mentioned when talking about the cover, the back of it you can actually feel like it's very rugged, very rough, and it really suits the record. That's another reason it's better than vinyl. Better than CD, sorry. Yeah. Moving on to Mystery Disease. This one's probably my favourite song off the album, or at least my second favourite song. Sorry about that. But it's very drum based. It's got a lot of drumming in it. Boom, cha, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. Very catchy drum beat, very awesome one, and it makes the song fast, but everything going on around the drums is very slow actually. There's just a droning synth making this song quite ambient if it wasn't for the drums, and the vocals on this are really freaky and monotonous and just terrifying actually. This is a scary record if you haven't heard it. It's the freakiest MGMT one. Moving on to Introspection. This is actually a cover. I think it's the only MGMT cover on an album to this point. And yeah, it's a great song actually. Their version's very good. Not heard the original, but their version is very good. It's very trippy, very weird, and for some reason the lyrics aren't showcased inside the album. I don't know if I can show you that. Yeah, look, Introspection, it just says introspection, what am I really like inside? It doesn't actually give you all the lyrics. But there you go, that's a great song. It's very guitar based, very simple, very easy to play and learn the lyrics to actually. And closing outside A, we get Your Life Is a Lie. Your Life Is a Lie is very much more radio friendly than the other songs on this, to be honest. It's got a call and response between a massive cowbell, which they bring out when they play this live, and lyrics, so it's really easy to learn the lyrics to this. But still, even though it's radio friendly, if you went from Kids and then jumped to Your Life Is a Lie, you're like, this is not even the same band, but it is. It's very freaky, very weird, and very dark sounding as well, but it is very radio friendly, and it's a great song, and it was a single actually. Sorry for the jump cut there. The reason I've had to keep reviewing this, this is my third take, is because I keep running out of memory, so I've just stopped the video there and I'm shooting another video now, just so in case I do run out of memory it's not as aggravating and I've not lost everything. Anyway, back into the album review. Side B opens up with A Good Sadness. Now, A Good Sadness is actually a more forgettable song off the album if you don't know the song very well. But just to sum it up, really, all I remember from it, because weirdly my mind's sort of blanked right now, but I do know it is a massive soundscape. I remember it being a huge soundscape with a creepy outro, and the vocals on this are just really good, to be honest. It's really scary sounding, which is weird. A lot of people would not expect this from MGMT, but you can now. It's a massive ambient soundscape, and it's really good. It's weird how they clashed ambient soundscapes with pop. Well, not like modern pop, but like psychedelic pop. It's really cool. But I prefer the next song, Astromancy, which is actually just similar sort of thing, but a lot better. It's a big soundscape. It's like, if you listen to this on vinyl, it surrounds you. You can hear stuff coming from everywhere. And, oh god, it's a great song. It sounds like a song you'd expect aliens to make, like from space or something. Maybe I'm just influenced by the name, Astromancy, which I don't know if that is a real word, but it sounds spacey. Yeah, if you listen to their albums, you could tell their first album, very 60s psychedelic influence. Their second album, very 70s post-punk psychedelic influence. And then you get to this, and by the way, I'm not calling them a post-punk band. They aren't really a post-punk band, but you could tell there's influence by how they covered a Bauhaus song. But then you get to this anyway. It's more acid rock, more soundscapes. They did a song called Brian Eno on their second album. Maybe they should have kept a Brian Eno titled song for this, because this is more ambient. Then we get on to track 8, I Love You Too, Death. This song is not even really a song on this album version anyway. I think you can play it on guitar, but like Andrew probably wrote it on guitar, then they transformed it for this album, but it's more avant-garde ambience mixed with tribal sort of stuff. There's a lot of flute, there's a lot of sort of weird sounds going on. It's not really a song, it's got a big synth and then some random rattling. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's very weird. Not really, again, what you'd expect from MGMT, but they did it. And the thing is about this album, it's more of them making a jam session rather than them making songs. So this is probably what, if you went to MGMT's house and they play, I mean, they don't live together, but let's say they did, and you went to their house and asked them to just play a song for you that they haven't wrote, just play music, they'd probably come up with something like off this album. And it's scary. This song triggers my fight or flight. It's really freaky. And it's one of the songs, if it comes on, I want to skip it, but I don't, because it's quite a challenge to get through. Not that it's bad, I mean, it's just scary. It's very freaky, and fits the title. Probably good lyrics too, probably really good lyrics, but it's not one you could sing along with, because it's just scary. It gets a bit uplifting sounding, but for the most of I Love You to Death, it is quite freaky. But that contrasts with the next song. Sorry if you heard background noise, my brother's just mucking about. But Plenty of Girls in the Sea. Plenty of Girls in the Sea is very Beatlesy, honestly. And again, it's another one I didn't realise it was sort of Beatles sounding until I'd heard more Beatles stuff. Yeah, it's weird, because you wouldn't expect this to be on side B, you'd expect it to be on side A, but it's actually not. It's the second to last track, and it's very radio friendly, even though you wouldn't expect that. Sorry, my brother was just interrupting the review then, as he does. What was I saying? I'll just say something. Plenty of Girls in the Sea, very pop sounding, to be honest. Not pop as in modern pop, but, you know, sort of 60s psychedelic pop. And it does sound quite Beatlesy, probably more influenced by another band, but Beatles is what I hear. And when it gets to this certain bit, and it's quite calm, and then it just gets really loud, like the drums come in, and some random synths. Oh god, it's amazing on vinyl. It's amazing anyway, but if you get this on vinyl, it just surrounds you. It's amazing, honestly. Good song, but it's one that gets overlooked, and especially coming after that ambient, avant-garde soundscape, it's just awesome. Finally, closing the album, we get An Orphan of Fortune. Possibly my favourite song on here. This or Mystery Disease. Wow, what a song. And it saddens me that they don't play this live. And maybe it was just a big jam session that they planned, but so that's why they can't play it live, because I don't know how. But I wish they could. It's an amazing song, honestly. It starts off very scary, very sad, very depressing, even though it's only instrumental. There's just one droning keyboard, I believe, or synth, and then around you hear like screams and stuff, and then it breaks in with this like distortion, just fucking terrifying. I don't know what it is. It's unsettling and freaky, but still sounds so epic. And then when the vocals come in, it's one of the easier soundscape songs to learn vocals to. It's just amazing, honestly. This song, An Orphan of Fortune, is a brilliant song, and it's one that just blows my mind, and it's a great album closer. It leaves this album just sounding terrifying, but amazing and awesome. Yeah. Well, that's it. MGMT's third album, their self-titled album, actually. That's something I forgot to mention. I mentioned it's self-titled, but they've called this their self-titled album, and I often think self-titled should be the album they want to be represented as. If a band calls an album self-titled, it's what they want to be known as. And this, MGMT, the album, I guess it was them telling people who just liked them for their pop singles to just fuck off, because this is what we want to do. And yeah, it's a really bold movement of the band, but a great one. So there we go. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your thoughts on this album in the comments below. I think it's a great album. I think it's astonishing. even if I may have ranked it as the worst MGMT album, I don't think it's worst. I think it's my least favourite. It's still a fucking brilliant album. Thank you for watching. As I said, leave your thoughts. Stay epic.